our job. I worked with the Royal Navy Underwater Bomb Disposal Unit. I was a diver as well, and microwaves were used in mines as booby traps. One of the ways microwaves were used in mines was to send a beam to the head of the bomb disposal person if you were out the water, to make you make a mistake, which is how I knew microwaves could affect the brain. I also studied the medic, not up to the level of doctor, but I was the ship's medic as well, so I studied the human physiology and everything else. When I came out the Royal Navy, I had top security clearance. I taught in the maximum security wing in Wormwood Scrubs and other places, where we had captured spies in the Cold War, and because I was trained in microwaves, and microwaves in the Cold War were big weapon discoveries, it's a stealth weapon that you can't be seen, can't be detected, and it's a good way to kill people. I've seen documents. We used it on the Catholics in Northern Ireland. It was used on the women at Greenham Common, the protesters, to give them cancer, make them sick. So microwaves were used by all of the main countries on the other countries, and still are to this day. So I spent 11 years talking to spies involved in microwaves. After that, I went off. I taught advanced physics in school, general science, chemistry, physiology, advanced physics. My degree, one of my degrees, I studied with Exeter here. I specialised in nuclear and atomic physics. I wanted to learn it properly, and my dissertation was on absorption of the far end of the microwave spectrum. I have another degree. I studied the environmental influences on thinking processes. I have a teaching diploma in human physiology. I taught advanced physics, mathematics, certainly physiology, so a little bit of chemistry, and I was the author of the Tetra report for the Police Federation of England and Wales, the higher confidential reports for the senior officers for the police force to represent the ambulances and fire brigade. And since then, I have been the go-to person, not that I'm the cleverest, but I've been the go-to person for virtually the world to explain why a weapon, a very successful weapon, which is still used today and in the 5G frequency, why a very successful weapon can also be a domestic, safe instrument for children to use. And of course it can't. And this is the problem. And this is why we are having the brain tumours and the illnesses and the birth defects. This is why all the statistics are coming up. And it's why you are here today. And it is a cover-up. If it were one country invading another country with this sort of death rate and suffering rate, it would be classed as genocide, without a shadow of a doubt. I even know some professors that have gone to the World Court to have this registered as genocide and have the industry taken to court. I've given evidence, or sent evidence for that. But you're up against the most powerful industry on the planet, backed by the government because of the money they're getting, and because the secret services have the ability to watch and listen to everybody. So you're in a catch-22 if you're the government. You've got all of this information coming in that you can use to spy on people. You have the tens of billions coming in, but you know it's going to cause more deaths and suffering than lead in petrol and smoking and everything else. But it's worth it. To the government, it is worth it. And they are in a catch-22, and at the moment they prefer the money, which is why your MP will have nothing to do with me. And I've been asked by the people, I've been to Totnes 3 times to give talks, and I've been asked to go and do another talk, but there's no point until the MP will turn up. But the problem that you have now is that in 1999, 375 of the top companies in the microwave industry, they got together and said, let's go wireless. 1999. Let's go wireless. We'll call it Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is not a specific, well, it's now adopted by a specific frequency, but it just really meant wireless. 375 of the top companies got together and said, let's not bother with fibre optic cable or other cable systems. We can send wireless. And the frequency they chose, 2.4 gigahertz, to send wireless, because on paper it looked the most effective, and it is the most effective. It is also the choice that has been used since the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. It's the choice by the government stealth microwave warfare industry. So you have the most effective microwave frequency, and it's not just me saying this. You've got the leader of the Soviet Department of Nuclear and Atomic Sciences saying it and writing it. You've got the leader, a captain of the Secret Service, saying whatever you do, don't use this. This is the most effective weapon, and I can go into why and what it will cause if you want. But they, financially, because it's the most effective weapon, it is the most effective Wi-Fi microwave frequency. And they said, zonk, we'll have this one. So we are now giving pregnant women, children, whatever, the most effective weapon, and we're putting them up in schools like Dartington for children to be exposed to all of the time. And this is why we're having the rate of tumours and cancers, and there are at least 8 different cancers now going haywire. And this is why we're in the predicament we're in, and why 58% of the world is saying not here, and we're taking legal action and everything else, and 42% of the planet, who are controlled by a list of no more than 20 powerful people who are effectively government advisors. They're non-elected, but they are government scientists. Around 20 people are controlling 42% of the planet. And this 42% of the planet we are in, and this is why you are getting nowhere. Because everything you do goes to, and in this country, there's only a few of them. I've known countries, I've been to countries where only one person speaks for the whole planet. In fact, I've been to 2 countries where one person says, no, this is safe, or according to our experiments, this is safe. And 42% of the planet are basically controlled by 20 people, and it's these 20 people that we are now, and I am also actively giving evidence for the World Court to bring charges of genocide, and this is where we are.
Okay. If you were to summarise in...
So, Did I just blow your mind?